Very good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Dan Walker and Louise Minchin.
Headlines for you this morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's the 17th of March. The top story this morning is that the Health Secretary has insisted the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is safe, and he's urged all UK citizens to get the jab as soon as it's offered.
Matt Hancock was speaking after Sweden and Latvia became the latest European countries to stop offering the vaccine following safety concerns. Dan Johnson has more. The number of people sleeping rough in England may be 9 times the government's official estimate, according to a new report from a cross-party committee of MPs.
It said that the true extent of the problem was revealed during last year's effort to provide accommodation for homeless people during the pandemic. Our Home editor, Mark Easton, has this report. Those are some of the main stories around this morning. It is 7:10 and it's Wednesday morning. Good morning.
Carol's got some lovely blue sky for us behind those clouds. Morning.
Morning, Carol.
Good morning, both.
In about half an hour's time.
Thanks.
Let's take you back to our main story now, and those 18 European countries which have stopped using the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine despite assurances from the World Health Organization that it is safe.
Denmark was the first country to... We'll get the government's take on that in about 10 minutes on this programme. But right now, the Scottish Government laid out their plans for easing the lockdown yesterday, and they include opening hairdressers from the 5th of April.
I just want to go, yay, when they open. That's less than 3 weeks away. So just hang on in there. Garden centres will be also making a comeback as well.
I had a home haircut yesterday, actually.
Looking good.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
All right, thank you. Our Scotland reporter, Alexandra McKenzie.
I mean, that's dedication 70 times, isn't it?
That shows the importance of the haircut, Alexandra.
I was determined.
Well, good on you. You got through, you booked one, didn't you, for 4 weeks
They
down the
rang me
line,
back. They rang me back, and when the phone went, I was so excited when the phone went off. But it's still a long time to wait.
It's something to look forward to, though.
Oh, it is. It's 23 minutes past 7. Well, 25 miles north of Glasgow is the city of Stirling, where Nick Eardley has been talking to voters ahead of the Scottish parliamentary elections in May for the latest in the BBC's Power and the People series.
He found issues on the agenda include income tax, the environment, and independence.
You are watching BBC Breakfast.
We have got Kwasi Kwarteng from the government on the way in just a few minutes' time. But right now, it's the news, the travel and the weather. Wherever you're watching, we'll see you in a few minutes' time.
Hi, very good morning. You are watching Breakfast with Dan Walker and Louise Minchin.
The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, has insisted the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and urged all UK citizens to get the jab as soon as it's offered.
We'll talk to Sally in a second, but just to let you know, I'm coming up in, I think it's in the next 10 minutes or so. We're talking specifically about so many people obviously beginning to go back to work again, perhaps for the first time in a year. You might have got yourself a lockdown companion, a new pet. Are you worried about leaving them at home? We've got all your questions answered shortly.
Oh yeah, we've got a dog expert who's going to give you a bit of advice if that's something you are concerned about. I know many people are in that position, aren't they? Having had a dog, particularly a dog in the house for the entire time with all of us there, and now going back to something like normal life, how do you help them? Yep,
very good point. Manchester City have been amazing. Have it to all of you who are sending pictures of your lockdown pets. Thank you.
You know, I promised you earlier I wanted to talk to you about Masters of the Universe. Is now a good time?
Nope. Carol, should we look at the weather? Morning. Good morning. Thank you, Carol.
If you are hoping to take a holiday somewhere in the European Union this summer, we should find out a bit more today about whether we'll need to prove that we've had a COVID jab and a recent negative test.
The information could be held on a so-called digital green certificate, which has already been dubbed the vaccine passport. And for the tourist industry in countries like Greece and Spain, it can't come soon enough. Guy Hedgecoe reports from Benidorm.
With Nina a little bit later on. Now, you might be fed up with life in lockdown, but if you own a dog, they're probably living their best life at the moment with company around the clock.
Yeah, I wonder about that. With more of us returning to school and work, it is about to change for many dogs who could be about to experience separation anxiety for the very first time.
Let's find out how we can help them. Graham Hall is not to be too worried, as well, as Graham was saying there. If you watch, we love his programme in our house, and he solves some really serious sort of dog issues for families, and they're really concerned, and he sort of walks them through it very calmly and carefully, and normally it finishes with a much better situation at the end. So there is hope at the end there.
Why not? Should we thank you very much, everybody, for sending in your pictures of how your dogs have been enjoying lockdown. Should we show you some quickly?
Go on, then.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and best of luck. So just remember, couch to 5K for dogs. Just start with small amounts of time.
It's always a little bit to start with, and then gets there in the end. Stay with us, we've got the headlines coming up for you very shortly.
Morning, welcome back to Breakfast with Dan Walker and Louise Minchin.
Headlines for you. Good morning, it's Wednesday, the 17th of March. The Health Secretary then has insisted the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is safe, and he's urged all UK citizens to get the jab as soon as it's offered.
Matt Hancock was speaking after Sweden and Latvia became the latest European countries to stop offering the vaccine following safety concerns. Dan Johnson has more details.
Now, you shut me down earlier when I was going to talk about Masters of the Universe. The reason why I wanted to mention it, right, is because last night it was on the top trends on Twitter because it was on Film 4 for the first time since like the 1980s. Do you remember, Carol? Do you remember? Carol's not even looking.
Yeah,
do you remember Masters of the Universe,
look away,
Carol?
Look away.
Sorry.
The Cosmic Key. Courtney Cox was in it.
Anyway, Carol.
Yeah, the weather.
Okay,
Good morning, everybody.
To you for Christmas, all right?
As if we had someone to play those.
We can hardly contain our...
Your friends over here, Carol.
Why are you laughing so much, Carol?
Thank you very much.
You just made me laugh